Okay.
Ready to roll? All right, good afternoon, everybody. We'll call the meeting to order. Time now is 12:05 on July 27th, 2021. First order of business, we will ask for approval of the minutes for the previous meeting, which was July 25th of 2021. Has everyone received their minutes and had a chance to look those over? Is there any discussion on those minutes? There's no discussion, then I will entertain a motion to accept the minutes from the meeting on May 25th, 2021. Not everybody at once.
Motion to accept the minutes as presented.
All right, first from Darren. Need a second?
This is Candy Dole Nutrient, I second.
Second from Candy. Again, since we have a lot of cameras off, I'll assume all in favor unless somebody says or shows by show of hand nay. Any nays? Seeing none, motion carries. Moving on to item number 3, financial report. Jerry?
Okay. Can y'all see my screen?
Try to go to full screen. Yes,
Yes.
In full screen mode we can.
Okay, so currently the financial report, the LEPC bank balance is $11,732.48. Current debits, we had the contract pay for $700, and then a pending debit for bow tie fire, that $37.50.80 that was approved the last meeting. That is still out there. For some reason, they haven't cashed it yet. So, but it's still pending. It was processed on June 3rd. So that should, once that hits the account, it should bring that bank balance down. That's all we have.
All right, any discussion? All right, seeing none, I will entertain a motion to accept the financial report as read.
Motion to accept the financial report.
First from Darren,
This is Candy Dole, second it.
second from Candy. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion passes. On item number 4, compliance report. Jerry?
We had P66 had submitted 2 follow-up reports that were submitted. These are both earlier in July. There were follow-up reports on a power outage that was out at the facility. Those are the only 2 I'd received. I do have these on file. If anybody wants those, just can email me. I can forward you a copy of that report.
Any discussion on the compliance reports? Hearing none, I will entertain a motion to accept the compliance reports as read.
Who was that?
This bill, I'll make a motion to accept the compliance report as read.
First from Bill, need a second? Second from Tinder. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion passes. Moving on to item number 5, right to know committee. Is Alan on the line?
He's not on here yet.
Okay.
As far as right to know, we have been working in a last meeting. Alan brought up he's having some issues with his Steers account. I was able to get with TCQ and in the steers system. And everything on my side of the account also was messed up. I'm not able to actually go in and view any of our tier 2 data in our steers account right now. So they had some issues with that we're currently working on. But other than that, we're trying to get that tier 2 data pulled out in that XML file so we can get that out to our first responder agencies for the download into the Cameo suite. Other than that, that's all I have.
All right, thank you, Jerry. Moving on to item number 6, Public Education and Information Committee. John or Warren?
Warren here. John is somewhere in the north. Right now, the ongoing activity with the Red Cross and the Texas Panhandle is updating and validating our shelter list. We have 85 shelters plus or minus on our list in the 26 counties that we serve. And from time to time, we update our list, and that's the activity we're in right now. I don't know if there's any public education activities with the LEPC or anyone else in Hutchinson County planned at this time. The Red Cross will, of course, help with that if you want us to. And does anyone know what the status is of the Border ISD field house that's north of the football field? Because it looks like a phenomenally large space that might be a candidate for a shelter if, God forbid, we need a shelter in Border. But I don't really know who I would need to visit with about investigating that. And unless someone has any questions about what I've talked about so far, I'm done.
Whistler, do you want to chime in at all on that shelter? I know we've got to look at things. First of all, permission I know would be one, and then if they have facilities, backup generator, things like that. Do you have any more input on that?
Well, I'm guessing that one of the Jasons and the superintendent of schools are probably the people I need to touch base with.
Yeah, I was going to see if Jason Whistler had any more information, if that's already been researched, or if that's something we need to have you look into.
Which
Okay.
one are we talking about, guys?
The big indoor practice field, I believe, up above the stadium. Is that correct, Warren?
Yes, that's what I understand. I'm not sure what the official title is for that structure, but it looks huge.
Yeah, it is. And we've kind of, no, that's not ours to, that's totally the Border ISD. Talked to Pender about it a little bit. One of the problems with that facility is it is so open. It'd be very difficult for containment and organizing, keeping people where they need to be. But definitely that'd be something to talk to the superintendent, Border ISD about.
Well, in that case, maybe we need to put a letter of introduction on a Red Cross letterhead and mail it to them.
Sure.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I can get you a couple of contacts. I'll do that right now, actually, Warren, while we're in this call, and send you the information I've got.
Okay.
And one thing I would just reiterate is if they're open to it and they're allowed to for through the legal channels, we do need to make sure that we find out what facilities they do have there as far as restroom and then any kind of backup utilities if that's there, just so that way we know if that's even viable. So it's good. It's a good thought. Very good thought.
Their Facebook page with the virtual tour of the place looks extremely promising.
All right. The only other thing I'll add isn't necessarily public education, but we do have some upcoming events. August 14th, we have the Back to School Fair. It's hosted, with the exception of last year, every year. That will be out at Frank Phillips College again. I believe it is from 9 until 1. And again, so that's just for anybody who has participated in that in the past. You can reach out to United Way and see what needs to happen as far as taking place or taking part in that. And then I'm not sure when our next meeting is, but I will also point out that September 11th, not only is it 20 years since 9/11, but it is also the day of the United Way Kickoff Cook-Off. Again, that's a big event that is held, every year. There's been some talk about having some sort of shared 9/11 ceremony of some sort there. That's still in the works. So again, if we don't have a meeting between now and then, just watch your emails and social media, and we'll be putting some information out.
Okay, thank you.
All right, anything else under that heading? All right, if not, we'll move on to item number 7, Hazardous Material Facilities Liaison Committee. Bill?
No, I don't know. I'm not aware of anything, Brandon.
All right, I don't see Mike. Jerry, do you have anything more on that?
No, I don't have anything.
All right, moving on to Emergency Response and Resource Committees. Do we have either Bob or Zeb?
Zeb is not on. There's one thing that we had received is this pipeline safety training. It'll be out at Frank Phillips College A&I building, August 25th, 2021. I'm going to take the link that I got from this company, and I'll send it out through the LEPC email for registration for the. I think you can actually just show up and register on site, but I'll send out the link to everyone so they can register if they would like to attend the training.
So I'll go ahead and bring it up. There is this Core X program, which is an in-person training. There's also Danielle Smalley Foundation, which is an online training. They can be completed as well. I know that I have gotten contact information from the Danielle Smalley Foundation in regards to this. I can give that information out there so you can put it on there too, Jerry.
Okay.
Also, I believe there's a Mayday class being put on by TEEX at Randall County Fire Department the end of September, and a second class the end of October, as well as the wildland classes. I don't remember what they're calling it now, but it's going through TEEX as well. I believe the last 2 weeks of September.
Okay. If you can send me some of those links for that, I'll just put it all in one email and send it all out.
Okay. If I remember to send it to you, I'll try.
Okay.
You having one of those weeks too, huh, Alan?
Do what?
You're having one of those weeks too, I guess.
Well, today just happened to be the day that I was able to get my piping designer on the phone, and my 1 hour meeting just turned into 3 hours. So
I can relate.
Have we talked about our exercise coming up?
We have not. I didn't know if we were going to do that here. I do know that the partners that are involved, Pinder will be reaching out to, just given, Jerry, is that something, or I guess Pinder, if you're on, that's something we probably just want to handle outside of the open meeting?
Pinder. Are you on here, Pinder?
He's in the office next door to me. I can hear him talking to the wall.
I'm going to assume, again, just given the exercise that it is, what it's involved, and the fact that it is going to be somewhat closed, we'll probably discuss that outside of the open meeting.
Okay.
That's Pinder. But for those that know what we're talking about, it will be October 19th.
So the other item that I wanted to bring up too, did you talk about National Night Out?
Yes. National Night Out is planned for
August the 10th.
Thank you. I was scrolling on my calendar. I couldn't get there soon enough. August 10th. For those that aren't familiar with National Night Out, it is a nationwide program that's usually coordinated by first responders, primarily law enforcement. One of our members of our communications staff is our regional communication centers is coordinating that this year. And I believe that they're looking at putting together something on Main Street, blocking off a small portion of that, and then having some apparatus out, police cars, fire trucks, possibly EMS. Again, I'm not sure who all has been brought into that. And Jason, do you have any more on that? Whistler?
Let's see. Just got the paperwork here. I don't have a whole lot else to add to that. Like I said, this is the first time they've tried to kick this off. Doesn't sound like it's a I don't know a whole lot about it. It doesn't sound like it's a whole lot different than maybe like the safety fair. I think the goal of it is just integrating your emergency services, public response with the community and just trying to establish some rapport.
Yeah, Jason, that's I think the premise and the idea behind it. As far as times and the exact blocks that are going to be hosting that, I think that is still being worked out, if I understand that correctly. So I know it's right around the corner, but I haven't seen any finalization on the location yet.
Correct.
Anything else before we move to the next item? All right, moving on to item number 9, unfinished business.
Okay, in our unfinished business, we had a COVID-19 update for Hutchinson County. Currently, Hutchinson County cases, we have 1,942 confirmed cases, and the numbers that are up are since last meeting, which is May 25th. So 395 cases additional since May 25th. 531 probable, just up 34, and then total cases 2,473. Currently active cases, Hutchinson County, we're at 22. Recovered cases 2,373. Fatalities 72, up 1 since our last meeting. Since I put some different graphics to show last meeting compared to today. So you'll see that this is last meeting at 574 cases to today, new confirmed cases 1,387. That last meeting we had 4 fatalities, daily fatalities. Today 5 were fatalities. Remember, these are statewide statistics on right now. So the last meeting, COVID patients in Texas hospitals, we were running at the 2,000 mark. Today we're at 4,626 COVID patients in hospitals. This is a positivity rate, statewide statistic as well, 2.15% positivity rate as far as the antigen testing. Currently today we're at 6.84%. Last meeting, this is our trauma service area in there's top 25 counties. Available hospital beds, 257 last meeting, 311 this meeting. ICU beds available, same. Then I guess the big number is at the bottom, COVID patients in our regional hospitals. Last meeting 22, this meeting 75. This is a BSA Northwest Texas statistic as far as hospital capacity and ICU utilization. So honestly, it's other than ventilator use, which is not on the ventilator use is not specific to COVID, but it's numbers are really relatively close since today and last meeting. This shows all the way back to the beginning of January, our top 25 county region hospitalization percentage. There is still a where they look at this number as being at 15% or higher, is when they look at imposing other or trying to look at restrictions and whatnot. So right now, currently we're at 4.75%, but you can see the outline since the beginning of January. Golden Plains Community Hospital currently, so they have a positivity rate of 20%. You can see some of the information that they've provided. They've had some transfers to other medical facilities and whatnot. No current COVID-related admissions at Golden Plains. Vaccine report, Hutchinson County doses administered 11,089, which is up 972 since last meeting. Vaccine availability, still have Pfizer and Moderna vaccine available. Pfizer, Border Pharmacy, and CVS, Moderna, Border Pharmacy, United, and Walmart. Recent increase in vaccinations over the last 2 weeks. I've been able to talk to all of but one of those pharmacies, and every one of them has, in the last 2 weeks, have had a higher number of vaccinations that are coming in. They had a pretty slow time for probably the last month or two. It's slowly been decreasing in vaccinations, but over the last 2 weeks, all of them have said that they're starting to get quite a few more people coming in wanting the vaccination. And that's all I have. You're muted, Brandon. There you go.
Yep, thank you. Is there any question or discussion on what Jerry just covered with the update on COVID-19?
So Justin Boyd with AMR. Quick update from my side, and let me tell you where we stand today. Our availability of transferring patients to traditional facilities, being Northwest and BSA and Pampa, have diminished greatly. My ability to transfer patients to non-traditional spots, Lubbock, Albuquerque, Oklahoma City, has increased about 400%. In the last 3 days, we've gone to Oklahoma City, Albuquerque, Lubbock numerous times. The ability and the open bed spacing in Amarillo, due to staffing, it's not a brick and mortar situation, it's a staffing situation, is at crisis in Amarillo. Often days, for every patient, not just COVID patients, they don't have bed availability. I'm also the supervisor for Dalhart. I'm seeing about a 400% increase in our transfer rate to non-traditional sites, not being Amarillo or within trauma service area A. We're transferring past Lubbock now. We're going off into other states. Staffing is a problem. HPP call yesterday with the state. Most every facility in the state of Texas has said that we have a staffing problem. When and if the state will be able to help with staffing, they're not going to discuss that, don't want to discuss that. And right now the answer is the state has no intentions of helping with staffing at hospitals. That was of yesterday. Naturally, that update could change. I saw an update from Waco late yesterday afternoon. Waco has suspended all elective surgeries. So that could add to your conversations that our regular facility transfers out of Golden Plains going to traditional sites has changed, and it's changing rapidly on a daily basis. And two, the COVID surge in the state has an uptake, and sadly we don't have staffing at most hospitals to accommodate what we're fixing to see. And it's just not related to COVID patients. It's overall every patient that we're trying to transfer, we're having sometimes difficulty finding receiving facilities.
Thank you, Justin.
Yes, sir.
Anybody else have anything on that? All right, we'll move on to new business. We're we'll hear from Jerry, I believe, on a grant for the Regional Communication Center. And then we'll have an item that was not on the agenda. I will just remind everybody that when Bill does present, because it was not on the scheduled agenda, we can hear the item. We can I believe, get some clarification if we have any, but we cannot take any action or do anything on the item because it was not on the agenda. Jerry, are you starting off with the grant, or is that you, Jason?
I don't know who's presented. I thought that, what's her name, Jason?
Yeah, I'll take it.
Okay.
So we've got a grant request. I don't know if you've got anything that Jerry put up on the screen. This is actually for the Board Regional Communication Center, basically dispatch center to help support the National Night Out. They were asking on the document for up to $2,000. That would basically be for swag, bling, stuff, food, water. We've actually just got told just literally a second ago that some of that they've already got funded through other sources. So this will be a lesser amount that we're actually going to request, but I still wanted to, since we've already got it submitted for 2,000, I thought we'd request for up to 2,000. However, the actual requested amount will be less.
Has everybody had a chance to review that grant request? Does anybody have any questions? We'll allow a little bit of time if you haven't looked that over to look at that.
And then, of course, if any of the participants at this meeting wanted to help contribute water, hot dogs, something like that, then that would just also further reduce the amount requested.
Jason, if there are other donations being made, would the contact person be you for that?
No, probably Rebecca or Christina if she's on that application.
Oh, yeah.
I think Christina, yeah.
Hey, Barrow at bordertx.gov.
Okay. So if there are any partners that are interested in contributing, you can reach out through that source, as Jason mentioned. And then so as far as what's being requested from PRPC is an amount less than the originally requested 2,000.
Yes.
You, I guess, just kind of see what the motions come in, or did you have a certain amount in mind? Because I didn't know what else had come in.
Probably just honestly would leave it as such. And it is conceivable that depending on what kind of contribution request we get, or, if anybody's able to contribute anything, if they wanted, like if Phillips wanted to bring water, hot dogs, something like that, just for example, it's conceivable we want to just completely withdraw the reimbursement or the request for this grant.
Okay.
If we get down to a few hundred, then that we'd probably just withdraw it at that point.
All right. Does anybody have any questions on the grant request?
Just to help throw in on this also, dispatch is trying to get more involved in community outreach opportunities. This is the first time. Generally, we wouldn't solicit LEPC for these type of requests, but dispatch center traditionally doesn't have much of a budgeted fund for these outreach programs. So they're trying it out for the first time this year. We're really trying to support them, and I think it's a great concept, and we'll try to make some budgetary adjustments next year depending on the turnout for this.
And as you said, Christina's email is on that. I know that there have been others, but there's been quite a bit of work put into organizing and reaching out and trying to get people involved and interested. So it is definitely something I think that if we have a good turnout, that we can possibly see continuing. All right, so just to recap, this is going to be downtown on Main Street, August 10th from 6 to 8 p.m. Going to have first responders and again, hopefully a good turnout from the public. That is the goal of that, is to interact with our citizens and just kind of see them outside of the routine interactions they have with us, whether that be a response to a call or a car crash or something along those lines. So if there's no questions, I will entertain a motion to award a grant up to $2,000. Remember, I believe in the past when we've done this, Jerry, correct me if I'm wrong, but in the past we can receive a motion for the full amount, so we can make a motion for a partial amount or anything in between, or anything in between. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Is this going to be a reimbursed grant or is this upfront funding?
I think at this point, it'd be probably best to do as a reimbursement.
So I'll make the motion that we approve the grant, reimbursement grant up to $2,000 for the well, I can't remember what you called the,
National Night Out.
no, scroll back up. Regional Communications Center, up to $2,000 for the National Night Out event.
Okay, we have a motion from Alan.
This is Bill. I second.
Bill, a second. Okay. Again, we'll do any opposed, and I'll give it some time since we are discussing a financial donation in the form of a grant. Any no's? Seeing none opposed, assume that everyone is in favor and the motion carries. Again, on a non-agenda item, Bill is going to visit with us about something that he would like to see on the next agenda. Again, I would just remind everybody that this is not an actionable item as it was not posted in a public forum prior to the event.
When is the next meeting, Jerry?
We haven't decided yet, Bill. We'll figure that out at the end of the meeting.
So the other thing that I want to bring up is you had sent out the letters for getting support for this next year, and it looked like it was a little crooked, and I don't want to print that out and use it to give to people. So can I drop by somewhere and get some originals?
I'm sorry, Bill. It's hard for me to understand you.
The donation letter. Can we come by somewhere and pick up some originals?
It'd be fun. I can meet you somewhere, whatever I need to do.
Okay, cool.
Anybody that wants donation forms, will gladly get those to you.
Yeah.
So I wanted to let the committee know about an incredible opportunity that I learned through United Way's Mental Health Task Force for Hutchinson County. This is Julie Winters has been heading this up, and it's just been phenomenal to be part of that the last couple months, and got the opportunity to attend a trauma healing institute facilitated what they call convening about how to bring trauma healing to your community through lay members, and being, I consider myself a chaplain liaison with the LEPC, and being there to help mobilize churches and pastors and so forth in times of emergency and disaster, right? So I see this as an incredible opportunity to bring our church representation and our lay leaders there into the aspect of emergency management, trauma and disaster management in terms of trauma management and healing. So it's an incredible opportunity. I was very impressed. It's a well founded program. It's been around for, I think, about 20 years now, but it is a faith-based, holistic intervention type program that focuses on emotional and spiritual care. And basically they provide training to equip facilitators for people to facilitate trauma healing sessions within the community. And they use lay leaders to do that. It's something that's really down to earth, and so you can get a lot done with a lot of people really quickly. It's not like you have these experts and they are responsible for this. So it's really a grassroots type thing. And so it's really incredibly awesome. I'm really impressed with it, and would like to see that come to Borger, Hutchinson County. And there's an opportunity for myself to get facilitator trained in Tallahassee in the middle of September for 4 days. The cost would be under $1,500 for everything. And I just was wondering if the LAPC would sponsor me to go to that training and to bring that back to Hutchinson County. And again, I can obviously fill out a grant information form and provide all the specifics.
And Bill, what, you said September, what was the date in September?
It would be September 9th through the 12th. It starts Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and it goes through Sunday.
Okay, and you said that would be roughly 1,500. And again, obviously, we would have to get that on the agenda, and we would need that grant form. Would you be looking for something up front, or would it, or reimbursement?
No, reimbursement's fine. And again, that would cover the registration, materials, travel, lodging, food. It would take care of everything. It would be under $1,500.
All right. So I think that kind of gives us a little bit of guidance if we want, as far as setting our next meeting, and when we do that, Jerry, I assume we can get that on the agenda.
Yes, I can get it
Thank you
on.
for your time. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Bill. All right. So do we have any other new business?
No, sure.
All right, hearing none, we'll move on to discussing the date of the next meeting. Again, if we've got something that we need to make a decision on, I think that could affect when we're looking at. So we want to put calendars up and see when they're available. All right. Looking at, if we go a month from now, that would be,
I'll be out the 17th through the 22nd.
okay.
So it means you got to get the meeting out before you leave. I propose we did it on the 24th.
Okay.
Which, like I said, Jerry will have to get his stuff out before the 17th. Then.
Right. Jerry, would that be doable for you?
Yeah, I can do the 24th.
Okay. Is anybody that has a conflict on the 24th?
It looks good.
I know last time we had discussed, we had some interest in possibly doing a hybrid, to where we did, some of us, possibly meeting in person if we want. Do we want to maybe give that a few weeks and kind of see what happens with our numbers before we make that decision, or do we want to discuss trying to meet in person at a location and then broadcasting for those who either can't make it or just would rather connect via Zoom?
I'm not opposed to hybrid because just like today, it would have been 12:30 before I even got on
Right.
to a
Yes, sir.
in-person meeting.
Okay. And so, Jerry, why don't we do that? Since we have no opposition, we'll, for now, we'll set the next meeting on the 24th of August at noon. Depending on how our numbers look and how the next couple of weeks go, we can discuss as we get closer via email if some of us want to meet in person or if we just want to continue the remote.
Those of you that do want to meet in person, I'd like to go back to Jerry's previous slides that ensure everybody's got the vaccine. There's plenty of it available, and definitely something to still consider as we're watching numbers crawl up and an abundance of vaccine. And I think by now everybody's seen not too many of us have grown third eyes or extra appendages because of it. So a little GPS tracking never hurt anybody. So.
Yeah, as Jason mentioned, there is still plenty of vaccine left if there are those out there in the community that would like to receive that. There's several locations, as Jerry mentioned, that they can partake.
And including our LEPC members, if not everybody's had it yet.
All right. I believe that concludes everything on our agenda. I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Motion by Alan,
Second.
second from Bill. There's none opposed. Motion carries. We are adjourned. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Whistler. Brandon, are y'all listening to the radio?
No.
Donnie is yelling on the radio, so can't be good whenever it is.
Hey, are we still on? Are we still broadcasting?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
Hey, Jerry, where can I meet you to get those?
Give us, hey, Bill, give us just a second. Let us stop the stream and then we can.
Well, won't let me do it until I cancel the meeting.